there to a specific proximity. It's 4 on the floor, 2 to 3 feet away from us, giving us eye contact. And most importantly, I'm really looking for eye contact. And the reason I'm doing so is because whenever we're working with a reactive dog, I want most of their attention to be on me. I don't want them being hypervigilant towards the environment. I want them looking to me for instruction, for cues, and I kind of just want them to have that be sort of their just generic default behavior, to really focus on me. And what I love, especially for a very powerful Doberman, I love having this behavior down, because all good loose leash walking is just so you can walk, trying to force that eye contact, clicking and treating for some eye contact. As I turn and move away from her, she's going to come around right at my side to try to force it. If I had a 6-foot lead on her, it'd be nice and slack the entire time. As I'm just walking around, keeping some of that eye contact, I'm just going to click and treat it. Now this is an exercise that I love, just practicing in a fenced yard or in the home without even a leash, just getting her used to it and accustomed to it. Nice job. Without any distractions or any overt distractions. You got it. I'm not too particular which side she's on. I do typically like to have dogs on my left side just for good form amongst dog people, but I'm not anal about it. They can really be wherever they want. Lexee. And I like to use that name as a cue for stationing. For me, that's all name means. Just look to me for additional attention and instruction. Just give me some great stationing. Nice job. Oh yeah, that's a paw. That's cute. So what I also like to do too is I like to test and proof this behavior. Do you understand it in a way that I think I would like you to do? And I'm pretty sure she does, but we can test it just by turning my back to her and see what she does. She's going to hold that position. And then come around and kind of force that eye contact. There we go. So she's telling me she understands it.
That's awesome.
So it's just a way to kind of test and proof this behavior. So as I turn away from her, nice job, sweet. Basically, her eyes meeting mine is like hitting the treat dispensing button. I mean, that's really what it is. Nice job. We'll give you a little break.
So the clicker is going to eventually replace, all the treats. So because that's a positive click.
Yep. So eventually, what the clicker is it's a conditioned reinforcer. So in this case, let's see. We mark the correct behavior, and what that says is whatever you did when you heard that click, that's what's causing you to get a treat. The treat is on its way for whatever you did when you heard it. Let's see. So as soon as I get eye contact, I'm clicking, and she's like, oh, cool, I'm getting a treat for that. Eventually, what you can do is you can just fade out the clicker entirely. Lexee. She's just going to understand what she's getting reinforced. That's it. So she knows what that. I don't need to click that because she knows exactly what she's getting for. That skill is so well versed and well practiced. The click is just to teach new behaviors or any sort of exercise like some of the reactive stuff we'll be doing where we need really good precision of communication. That's where the clicker shines as a tool. And eventually, and this is you're probably, truth be told, looking at a year to 2 years worth of time of training and investment in her. And eventually, it's going to get to the point where you really don't need to use that many treats. You might just have a small handful in your pocket as you're walking or working with her. But she's going to have such good behaviors that are so well practiced. Just the opportunity to do those behaviors is going to be so reinforcing that when you just ask her for a sit, she's like, oh man, I love sitting. That's a thing that I've practiced so much. This is so great. And then you can just love on her and pet on her and be sweet on her. And that can be enough reinforcement to cause it to keep up. But initially, our best currency is just high value treats. I'm using just plain cooked deli chicken. That's usually what I like to train with.
Okay.
High value stuff.
Right.
Out in the environment like this or anywhere that she's inclined to react, this is like a $100 environment. We got to pay her $100 bills. She'll really work for kibble indoors. She might even work for it out here if there's not a lot of stuff going on. But think of that like a $5, $10, or $20 bill. Still valuable, still currency, but nowhere near some of that value people stuff. And same goes for praise. Praise is still very reinforcing for a dog, but not nearly to the capacity that high value food items are as a primary reinforcer. She needs food for survival. To a much lesser extent, she needs praise and love.
Right.
She can go a lot longer without love than she can without food.
Yeah.
So it's just much more valuable.
Got an itch.
She's like, no, I want to keep focusing on you. And that's what I love about dogs and terriers. That beautiful attention to handler where they just are so focused on you. I love it. You got all the smarts of the German Shepherds.
Oh yeah.
Without any of the nervousness I typically find, depending upon the dog.
See, another reason I want to continue the training with her, but all of that is going to even help Maggie, the German Shepherd, because she has so much energy, and I still think, you know,
Yeah.
she listens to everything my husband says. It's just her listening to me.
Yep. And as you build a reinforced history with her in terms of working with her, you're going to find that it's going to directly benefit. You're going to get a much greater fluency of behavior. Lexee. I'm assuming you've been working with hand targets. Yeah. Yeah. So she's got it down. So a behavior that we like. Lexee, here. A behavior that we like, and I love this for any sort of big, powerful dog, is a behavior that we call the hand target or the touch. And what this looks like for us, I know there's a lot of stuff in it. I'm just going to offer my hand, so I want her to smell it. Nice. And as soon as she touches it with her nose, I'm quick treatment. And the reason we train this, for a couple reasons. One, just a nice little side effect is any dog who might be a little stressed or worried or is meeting new people, it just counter conditions them to people reaching towards their face. It's just a nice easy way to do so. But more than anything, where it really works well in our favor is it allows us, I'm going to give you both, it allows us to manipulate her physical movements without the use of force. It sort of becomes the invisible leash. It allows us to conduct her around, to manipulate her, get her inside, get her outside, in the car, out of the car, from the furniture, off the furniture. If we have to do like an emergency U-turn, you know, when we're working with her, we got to get her out of a situation. So for example, as I quick treat her from stationing here, get her kind of back in the game. And I start walking with her. Come, Lexee. I gotta lure her out of there. I can just flash that hand target just to turn her right around and get her out of the situation. What I also like this behavior for is a really good recall. Sit. We'll see she'll hold stay. Come. Alright. Karen has just done such a wonderful job with the foundation. She's got it all down. She really does. Sit. Sit.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
It's such a valuable behavior to have down. Think of it like you're kind of like the Delta Airlines guy, just bringing that dog in, telling her where to go, even bringing that shipping bag, just providing her. And you can use it to teach a lot of other fun behaviors like a spin, or just like fun stuff, you know, like a leg weave, or anything that we need to really manipulate her movements, put her paws up on something, even like a little like you want to do a little jump off the switch. It's like, no, I gotta focus on squirrels. I know, there's cicadas there. Now, have you noticed any overt predatory behavior from her, short of eating a bird?
No, I don't like just like prey drive in general kind of thing. Maybe if she sees something outside the window. Sure.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Come. Nice job, Stevie. So that's really what our hand target looks like. It's a very nice, very valuable behavior. Now, have you done any emergency recall type stuff with her?
I haven't much. She's doing a lot better just with recall in general. Like in the backyard, she used to not want to come in, but now she's fine.
Beautiful. Now, a behavior that I am going to show you that I do like, can you whistle by chance?
Not very well. Yeah, I guess I can.
Yeah, it's
That was pretty good. All right. Usually no, but okay. It came out that time.
Yeah.
My husband can very loud, so.
So I like, for any dog that's got any sort of reactivity that's inclined to kind of go after things, or I could just see her, you know, heaven forbid, a door's left open, a gate is left unlatched. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Or, you know, life happens. I want to make sure that I can get our dog back to us.
Right.
And even if it's a situation, too, where I've done this with my own dogs, my pit bull at this point, I'd say he's mostly fixed in terms of not really being too reactive. But once in a blue moon, if another big tough dog decides to pick a bone with them, or someone's dog is off leash and it bum rushes him, he'll have a hard time with that. He'll start it and he'll finish it. So and he's 100 pounds, a big boy. So in those situations, I need to be able to get out of it. And by having a recall cue that's really strong, really well conditioned, really powerful, there's been certain situations where we're turning a corner and I see a big dog off leash getting ready to run up to him and start something serious. I've literally issued my emergency recall as I run away myself. And he's like, where are you going with the recall cue? And he just comes running around with me. It's a great way to mitigate any situation of really potentially serious aggression or any sort of serious reactivity. So as you're rounding a corner, if someone's walking the little Yorkie and it's like, oh my God, you're right there, I didn't see you, and you just need to get out of that situation, or heaven forbid she ever gets out or or behavior
Yeah.
starts going after, or she's got, you know, a rabbit cornered and you don't want her to murder it, then this is a great way to train this behavior. Now, what we were doing earlier with regards to that hand target, that's more of what we call operant conditioning. She's got to think about what she's doing and why she's doing it. She's got to be well within what we call the cerebral cortex. She's not past her stress threshold. She's not so consumed being worried about something else. She's calm enough that she can think about what she's doing and process it. When our dogs are so stressed that they're just reacting, what effectively is happening with regards to her brain is she is transitioning from using that cerebral cortex, processing information rationally, to actually entering the limbic system of the brain, which is controlled by our amygdala, our primitive emotional center. So she's actually going from being able to rationally process things, yes, to just reacting to things without thinking about what she's doing or why she's doing it.
Right.
It's kind of like, you remember a little while ago, there's like that creepy clown phase going on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just a terror. I hate clowns. But I could tell you, for me, not being a fan of clowns, if I happen to see one of those creepy clowns in a parking garage and I'm several hundred feet off, I'm probably just going to assume it's a kid pulling a prank. I'm not going to like it. I'm just going to get my car on the lead. But if I'm coming down the staircase and I turn the corner and there's a creepy clown right there, I'm a really nice guy, but I'm not taking the time to find out if that's a kid and playing a prank. I'm dropping that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Taking
yep,
it down.
exactly.
I'm getting out of there. The difference between those two situations is it's distance. Distance and threshold really go hand in hand. And for reactive dogs, it's a really important concept to keep in mind. The closer something is to her, the more likely she's going to perceive it as a creepy clown that she needs to swing at.
Gotcha.
Because it is now so close to me, so close to her, that she feels that she has to react. Her body feels like she has to react to maintain her own sense of survival at that point. That's really what that anxiety leads to with regards to reactivity. She is just, as far as she's concerned, so close to all the creepy clowns in the environment that she's got to start swinging. And our goal is going to be at keeping her from a suitable distance from those creepy clowns that she doesn't have to swing. And as she's looking and observing them, we're going to be clicking and treating her, saying, that clown just means good stuff for you. That dog that you're seeing, that person that you're seeing, that squirrel, deer, loud truck, etc., just means good stuff for you.
Do you think the click and treat would be helpful as we're introducing her to the others? Because we're going to do one-on-ones with them. Because we know we can't, we definitely don't want to just let them all go.
Yeah. And what I look at doing first is I do tandem walks with everyone.
Yeah, my husband, trust me, he does a lot of research, but that's what we've done before. And it works really well.
What I'd probably do is I'd probably start your dog out in front at a moderate distance, maybe 50, 75 feet, and then I'd bring her around and I'd be click treating her as you're slowly getting closer, ultimately trying to facilitate a butt sniff. She's probably going to be pretty hot to trot initially.
Yeah.
So you might need to have even more distance to start, but eventually as you close that gap, they're able to facilitate a butt stiff, especially as you're setting the emotional tone with treatment for what she's seeing. That's really going to be helpful. Now, the reason I bring up again that creepy clown analogy is just understanding the concept of distance and how it relates to threshold. Threshold being the point at which she really starts to have a hard time with what she's seeing within the environment. But what's nice about classically conditioning an emergency recall, so not even looking for behavior, just making a pairing. My specific whistle means a whole bunch of treats coming at you real fast. Is that because it's classically conditioned, she doesn't have to think about what she's doing, just like Pavlov and his dogs. They didn't think about salivating because it's been so well conditioned. That bell rings, they just start doing it. The response becomes involuntary. So even if she's past her threshold, she's in that limbic system of the brain and she's just reacting, she's just getting ready to go after things within the environment, she can still respond to that recall cue because the response then is involuntary. And to train it, it's really simple. It just takes some time. What you're gonna do is you're gonna preload your hand with a bunch of treats. You're gonna pick a specific whistle that you're not gonna give accidentally. You're not likely to give accidentally, and you're just gonna, with your hand preloaded, issue that whistle, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 treats, one after the other. Dogs associate value a lot more strongly in a quantitative fashion than they do qualitative fashion. 15 pieces of burnt to shit hamburger are a lot more valuable to her than 3 or 4 pieces of perfect filet mignon.
Yeah.
Lexee, come here. She's like, hold on, gotta bind it all up with some grass.
Yeah, ours likes to do that too.
I know, there's a butterfly.
She didn't chase it though.
Yes.
Good girl.
So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. I'm just gonna issue a whistle and I'm gonna pair it with one treat after the other very cleanly.
Okay.
Simple as that. It's just that clean pairing. With any sort of classical conditioning, it's all about stimulus A followed by stimulus B. In Pavlov's case, that was ringing the bell, bowl of food. A and B, A and B. In this case, it's just going to be whistle, treat, 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 treat. You notice I'm not talking to her, I'm not telling her good girl. I have my hand preloaded because I don't want to whistle and then pop open my treat pouch or rustle a bag or open a jar, because then that becomes a conditioned recall. And most folks already inadvertently have this with their dogs. When you shake a treat bag, when you open the fridge, when you open a cheese wrapper, doesn't matter where they are in the house, they come running. Same exact concept, that's how it's conditioned. Now what we're doing is we're just putting a little bit more control to it. And you could imagine that if you practice that a couple times a day, in 2 weeks' time, doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing, you issue that recall, she's going to come running for us. Now the trick to the trick with this behavior, to really make it work for us in our favor, is we have to repeat it at regular intervals, regardless of what she's doing, until she's right back at our feet. So what that would mean for us is, and she probably won't do it here, you know, the reinforcement history, but if she was at something of a distance, let's see what we can do. It looked like this. So regardless of where she's at, I'm going to keep whistling until she's right back at our feet. And the reason for that is when you issue that recall just once and she's at a distance, particularly if there's distractors within the environment, I guarantee you, if you spent time conditioning it, she will stop dead in her tracks and she will look at you like, awesome, that's that treat party over there. But I've got my soon-to-be murdered rabbit party right in front of me and you're kind of a ways off, so thanks but no thanks, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But if you repeat it at regular intervals, what happens is it serves as kind of a keep going signal, tertiary reinforcer we call it. And what will happen is she'll stop, she'll look at you, she'll hear it again inadvertently, that reinforces her really focusing on you, her interest will be piqued, she'll take a couple steps towards you, she hears it again, it's reinforced, the closer she gets to you, the louder it gets, so the more reinforcing it gets. So over the course of time, as you practice that like that, it's just going to cause her to really hone in specifically on where you're at. And if it's dark, if she's around a corner, if she's in thick brush, it's going to allow her to figure out just where you're at and really hone in on that signal. Think of it kind of like a homing signal. You got to continuously emit it for her to actually find you, even if she can see you and know where she's at. It's just sort of the trick to the trick that really accelerates this behavior and makes it kind of bomb-proof and rock solid. But we do have to spend some time conditioning it.
Right.
And at a minimum, what our recommendation typically is practicing just that pairing, regardless of what her behavior is, maybe 2-3 times a day for the better part of a week, better yet 2 weeks. And I've used this behavior to call my dogs off other dogs, call them off a white-tailed deer, rabbits, and it's a fun one too if you know there's like a squirrel or a rabbit in the yard that you're pretty sure can escape once they see the dog coming at it. Turn her loose and then issue that recall cue. See if you can get her back to you, mid-chase. If you do it right, you should be able to. It really is 99.9% reliable. And if not, that just means you got to hunker down and put a little bit more work forth with it. But it's a nice behavior I like to have in my toolbox. And I like to use it for any instance where we're worried about reactivity, we're worried about aggression, where we just need to redirect our dog. And I like it for just about any dog, honestly. I find it to be a really valuable behavior just to have in the back of your toolbox in case, heaven forbid, she get out, or equipment malfunctions, leashes, harnesses, snap, buckles fail, stuff like that. All those things can happen.
I noticed she's not reacting to that saw.
Yeah, she's doing really good.
Yeah, she hasn't even looked up at it.
Yeah, she's like, it's fine. I'm totally cool with it.
That's awesome.
So let's just see here. Again, we haven't made that much of a big pairing yet, but let's see if she'll even respond at this point. Value here really comes from that quantitative reinforcement for her. And she was chewing on a little bit of grass, she was checking things out within the environment. Even still, she comes honing in like, okay, I'm coming, I know what that means. And that's what, 4 reps that we've done now? And she's already kind of got it. And there's still a lot of sight, sound, smells in here. So to be able to break her from that with just 4 reps, that's why I love dogs. They're smart dogs.
You come see me too, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
So say once you go to the back, you don't go back.
Exactly. I like that.
Or red.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I got
sore myself. Hi, baby.
So with regards to our reactive work, really where our big main focus should lie with her, to explain how to best treat her, I like to explain the polar opposite of what we do. When we look at purposely training a dog to react and hate things enough within the environment to want to attack them, that's trained through a concept known as agitation work. And it's a very old school concept that's used for police and military animals, and it's actually quickly getting phased out in favor of positive reinforcement bite work. I do some of that myself, and it's just objectively training a dog to bite and hold on to someone's arm or leg, just as just a fun game, and to do it with such reliability and enough force that you can get pain compliance from your subject. Dogs respond to it really, really well. It's no different than any other bite trained dog, except the dogs, when they're trained through positive reinforcement for that work, they can readily turn it off, so they can no longer be on duty, and they're very safe to live and work with. And what they're finding is they've got better behavior, stronger, faster, better enthusiasm, higher pass rates for dogs in those programs, and the dogs that just don't have the right stuff for that type of bite work, they can be transferred out as pets, they can go be detection dogs. They're not psychologically damaged when they're trained through positive reinforcement at all. But in the most traditional sense, how this is trained is through a concept known as agitation work. And how they'll train this behavior is they'll take our dog and they'll put him in a prong collar, which is not a tool I recommend or will professionally use. I think it's good for one thing and one thing only, and that's exactly this, old school agitation work. And what they'll do is they'll have our dog in an open area, kind of like this, and they'd have like a bad guy like behind the shed. And he'd be wearing the bite suit, he'd be having a stick, he'd just be looking like a bad guy. And what would happen is, as soon as that bad guy would step out into view, and Lexee would look over at it, we would pair that with a harsh correction with the prong, the moment she makes visual contact. And we would do that over and over and over again. And what they'll oftentimes do too is they'll allow the dog to agitate themselves by putting them on a prong, tying them to a wall, and having that bad guy walk around being scary, being intimidating. So as the dog lunges, they feel that pain, and they directly associate that pain with that bad guy that they're seeing. So what happens over the course of time is that emotional response becomes not only a negative emotional response, but that negative emotional response becomes so strongly conditioned that ultimately our dogs want to take that bad guy out of anger, hate, fear, and malice. I mean, that's really what motivates and drives that behavior, which is really effective at getting your dog to bite things. But the thing to remember is dogs generalize experiences incredibly well. They generalize both positive experiences and negative experiences. And the problem with using punishment as a primary training strategy is we don't know, and we cannot reliably predict. We have a reasonable idea, but we can't reliably predict what they're going to generalize it to. It could be the time of day, it could be the season, it could be the substrate underneath their feet, holding their little nub 30 degrees to the left. It could be what the cologne we're wearing, or God only knows what they're generalizing it to. And what we're finding is dogs trained through agitation work, they are not safe for companion animal living. They bite the wrong people all the time. I had a client who actually had his calf torn open by an off-duty Naperville Canine officer and his German Shepherd who was trained traditionally through agitation work. He was just walking by him on the Riverwalk, not doing anything. Guy's minding his own business. Dog just lunges at him, grabs him. It was like 27 stitches. It was ridiculous. But because of that, these dogs, they oftentimes have just enough trust with their respective handlers and maybe the families that they live with to stay safe. But that trust, as far as anything else within the environment, it's been depleted.
She's not like that airplane.
She's the airplane.
Yeah. We have a lot of airplanes because of the Indianapolis airport, and the planes are already starting to come down by time. Yeah, because we live probably about 20 minutes from
I think for
the airport.
It's novel. Plus, as they're putting down the slats, it's weird noises and tones. But the reason I bring up agitation work is because what we're going to be doing is the polar opposite. The way to think about her emotional associations towards things within the environment, the easiest way that we found to think of it is almost like comparing